myself from here. Revelation chapter 17, verse 1. It says, "And there came one of the 7 angels which had 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, and I will show unto you the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters." Now, let me skip verse 2 and verse 3. Okay, let me read verse 3. It says, "So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns." How many heads? And how many horns? 10 horns. "And the woman was arrayed in purple color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written." Everybody read it with me. "Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth." Now, let me pause here. And let's take a quick look at what we are seeing. Now, the Apostle Paul is seeing the book of Revelation and over mystify the book of Revelation as if it is a book of mysteries. Revelation actually means apocalypse, exposed. God exposing things. And people like to call it the book of Revelations. The Bible calls it the book of Revelation. It's a revelation of your Lord and my Lord Jesus. So peoples, multitudes, nations, tongues. So I put it to you, beloved of God, that in these last days, the reason why it is difficult to shine as lights is because in these latter days, Satan has enforced for himself, by himself, a spiritual system that is virtually sitting on people. And when somebody is sitting on you, you are in trouble. And it's not just persons, whole multitudes and nations. We'll explain how this is going on shortly. Now, the consequence of that is that there is affliction, gross affliction. Let me explain. Before I go on and to explain, let me also remind you of what we saw in verse number 3. Verse number 3, where it says and describes the woman sitting on a scarlet-colored beast and 10 heads and 10 horns. 7 heads and 10 horns. And you will see in verse 7. "And the angel said unto me," where this? It says, "And it shall come to pass, saith the Lord, in the last days," all right, "that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains." Are you following? It says, "And it shall come to pass," not that it may happen, it shall come to pass. Say it with me, it shall come to pass. Yes, that in the last days, the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established, number 1, in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills. So, we are seeing here mountains. Can you say it with me? Mountains. Revelation chapter 17 is talking about